Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
For the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America for political violence or any violence ever, period.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just thought, I know it's irritating, but let's just play compare and contrast.
Okay.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
Shut up.
They say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? He must be cognitively in trouble.
Yes.
No. These are real stories. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lamb. He's a lovely man. He wants to have you for dinner. He'd like to have you for dinner.
We heard the joke in the movie. Oh, my God.
You know he saw that a few months ago, loved it, and can't stop talking about it. That's what happened.
Then he went on to talk about how Kamala Harris hates Jews, which I'm sure came as quite a shock to her husband. But
now what she's doing is she's running away from Israel. She refuses to go to Bibi Netanyahu is in Washington. She refuses
Good.
to do it. Even if you're against Israel or you're against the Jewish people, show up and listen to the concept. But she's totally against the Jewish people.
You can be against the far-right government of Bibi Netanyahu
and not... Netanyahu's a crook who belongs in prison just like Donald Trump.
That doesn't make you against Israel
By the way,
or the Jewish people.
I was in my car when I was listening to Netanyahu's speech, and I actually yelled you at the radio, just so you know. Okay. When he's praising Trump or whatever. It just reminded me he's the worst deal maker ever. Because when he talked about, moving the... embassy and Jerusalem's the undivided capital. Well, you know what that means? It means no two-state solution ever. Yep. And Donald Trump did that without getting any concessions at all from Netanyahu that might lead to a two-state solution and stop building the settlements. And I don't even get me. Why did I get started on that? I love all our regular guests. We're like, wow, a little different from last week.
Yeah.
What's happened in a week? Yeah. What are your thoughts? We haven't talked. We haven't talked since the political earthquakes.
We landed at John F. Kennedy Airport on Monday morning early, and I turned my phone back on to find out right then, as we were taxiing down the runway, that this extraordinary thing was happening. And I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. I mean, this is now a turning point, the likes of which politically we have never seen.
Yep.
I don't remember ever seeing like this.
We talked,
Doc, like despair and like crawling to some kind of finish line, praying for something that could not have happened, actually.
Yeah. Bob Seska, speaking of planes, just said that. It's like being in turbulence and thinking you're going to crash, and suddenly you land.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, it's fine.
The clouds... The sun came through. It was, I don't know what stupid metaphor to use, although I will not use Hannibal Lecter, but I'll use some other example. But no, it's amazing. And what's even more amazing, Steph, is in a minute, the money is pouring in. Youth are signing up to vote for the man.
Record numbers.
The black community is coming out in droves to help drive this thing to the finish. And meanwhile, the man is babbling Donald Trump. He's a babbling moron. It's the contrast. You talk about the contrast.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing such a contrast.
I know.
Al Gore and George Bush. Blah blah blah. We all. What a shame. That was a disaster, unfortunately. But there was nothing that could have predicted this level of contrast.
Now, speaking, I don't know why you have me on the plane analogy, Matt. Did you see Almost Famous when the plane almost crashes? Everybody's confessing everything. It's like, I'm gay! And then the plane lands. But I mean, I think those of us, that know a little political history, we're like, oh my God, this has been historically suicidal to switch candidates this late. The Democrats always lose. But as you and I said, we are in a moment in history we have never been at before, and it is a perfect storm of fear of Donald Trump, fascism, a second, Trump Project 2025 presidency, combined with let's win one for the Gipper, for Joe, for the love for Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris being a legitimately, uniquely gifted and inspiring candidate. And it's also, you can't, it's post Roe, so you can't make Hillary comparisons. I mean,
and actually, I want to say something about this issue of calling Trump a fascist. Regular fascists have been very offended to be associated with.
I apologize.
With
to regular fascists.
It's like he's not just he's a moron fascist. I guess are there categories? I mean,
yes, moron fascist.
You don't have to be an idiot to be a fascist. We still wouldn't like you, but you're an idiot on top of being, and you're babbling.
Since the RNC, his new name is MaxiPad Mussolini. Okay. By the way, gotta get your take as a doctor on what everybody is talking about. Bob tweets, Chris Wray, not sure if Trump caught a bullet or shrapnel. Sure sounds like the FBI wasn't privy to the ER report, if there was one. And Adam tweeted, by the grace of God, Donald Trump's ear grew back. God doesn't care about his age or his health or his inability to grow his ear back. Or maybe Donald Trump is just a liar. I mean, But here we are once again. There has never been an assassination attempt or assassinate where there is no medical information released from any, right?
He's like a gecko. He loses a body part, he grows it back.
It was like a gecko tail.
Yeah. In fact, it would have been interesting to have an actual gecko tail coming out of his ear because there was a genetic mishap. But,
I mean, Eric Trump and he both said, I blew half my ear off. Oh, I took a bullet for democracy. That's what the stupid giant Kotex on his ear was about. He didn't even need the doctor. Finally, they probably told him to shut up finally. But he did say on CBS that he didn't even need stitches.
Yeah, he didn't even need stitches, and his ear was blown off. That's pretty cute. That's a hell of a trick, and I think the whole reality of what is going on with Donald Trump is a big, freaking, incomprehensible joke. And nobody gets the joke. And, he keeps babbling about, sharks and electrocution and Hannibal Lecter and his ear being blown off, and he's a hero. And he stands up with this fight. And by the way, that's not to excuse the Secret Service.
No, it's not.
From a horrendous failure of their primary responsibility to protect somebody who's running for president.
Yeah. Nobody of good faith wanted this to happen.
Crazy,
Nobody.
Pretty crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but ananyway, what a time.
But to your point, though, Doc, just because, you're a doctor, you like, statistics, facts, things like that. Vote.org just announced a nearly 700% increase in daily voter registrations, more than 38,500 new registrations in the 48-hour period following President Biden's announcement. This figure marks the single largest number of voter registrations over a 48-hour period during the 2024 cycle. Voters between 18 and 34, to your point, accounted for 83% of the new registrations.
Yeah. Amazing. And I don't see this juggernaut stopping anytime soon either. I think this is, the more they listen to the contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, the more the choice becomes crystal clear. Now what I'd like to happen, Stephanie, is the following. Bobby Kennedy Jr. needs to go find himself a nice cave. He can furnish it as well as he wants and live there with Cheryl and just live happily ever after. But get the hell out of the way and get out of this contest.
Well, and this latest story was not surprising, that he tried to get a role in the future Trump administration in exchange for a endorsement. How craven, and just opportunistic and unpatriotic, frankly.
It is terrible. And, we used to say when he first got into this with his stupidity, that his deceased ancestors would be rolling over in their grave. I don't know what they're doing now. They've left their grave entirely.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
I chatted. I just buried my mom a couple weeks ago in Arlington, and my dad's buried right next to Bobby Kennedy. So I did have a little chat with him.
Oh, good. How'd that go?
Well,
I'm a Catholic girl, so it might have been a little sacrilegious what I said, but it was strongly worded. It was a strongly worded prayer to him. to do something.
I
about
can
his
imagine. Yeah.
lunatic son. Okay, you tweeted J.D. Vance, if our Democratic allies in Europe and around the world were already worried about destabilizing impact of a grossly unfit Trump returning to the White House, the possibility of a shallow, dangerously inexperienced J.D. Vance as VP would be truly inconceivable. I mean, the only thing I'm enjoying is the unbelievable buyer's remorse they're having already, and the actual data showing him dragging the Trump ticket down even further. It's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. You know, they were touting how professional Trump's new campaign team was.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that was yesterday. Today they put up J.D. Vance, and look, this is let him drag that ticket down. Good,
Yeah.
because that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's, if possible, worse in some policy ways than Trump. Probably not as delusional or psychotic as Trump is, but that man is an absolute loser.
Yeah.
And well, good. So all the more for Kamala to keep running that freight train as fast as she can. And I'm looking forward to November now. And actually, before that, I'm looking forward to the debate.
Yeah.
I want to see the debate.
I don't know if he's going to show up for that. I mean, you know, and I agree with you, Doc. I think this is only going to gain steam. I think we're just getting started. I think there's so much pent up everything, you know, it's everything. It's all of it. You know, it's all of us in our sea hats turned out in the Women's March that, you know, will die mad about what happened to Hillary. It is the energy of the Obama 2008 combined with this love and respect for Joe Biden, combined with Roe rage from the overturning of Roe. I just think we are in a perfect political storm moment.
Welcome to OK Now You Know. I'm Joe Garner. Today, we're donning a pair of the world's most beloved garments, blue jeans. How did these rugged pants become a global fashion staple? Let's unravel the denim saga from its rugged beginnings to its rise as a cultural icon.